Hi, I'm Vasant, and I'm the second affirmative speaker for Nafta. And I'll be reiterating points Sean said and rebutting the first negative speaker said. So negative speaker Amy gave us several numbers in relation to job growth, such as 110.8 million people in 1993 to 137.6 million in 2007 have lost jobs, as in more jobs. There have been more jobs in that time period, and that unemployment has went down 2%. It is never stated, however, whether it is because of NAFTA that there was an increase in jobs. This could have simply been an economic boom that affected several parts of the world, or strong finances that set up the country for growth. Furthermore, a source of this information is from the United States Trade Representative, as in it is from a United States website. The source is questionable and biased, as there is no third party verifying this information. But job loss is consistently getting worse, and seemingly there's no way to stop it. About.com and U.S. economy state that between 1994 and 2010, the U.S. trade deficit with Mexico totaled $97.2 billion, displacing over 420,000 U.S. jobs. But altogether, including Mexico, over 1.3 million foreign jobs have been lost since 1993. And from 1993 to 1995, 50% of all companies in the industries that were moving to Mexico were under threat of closing their factory. By 1999, just the rate had grown over 65%. Negative speaker Amy also said that the number of jobs have increased, but subsequently said an adverse claim that workers are being replaced by machines. To be exact, these machines are another issue entirely in the NAFTA program. My partner said that Mexicans can be hired for cheaper to work in American factories. The exact program involved is the Maquiladora program. This issue was never stated in the first negative speaker. NAFTA expanded the Maquiladora program, in which U.S.-owned companies employed Mexican workers near the border to cheaply assemble products for export to the U.S. The conditions in these factories, however, were not pristine. Specifically, U.S. economy states that workers have no labor rights or health protections. Workdays stretch out 12 hours or more, and if you're a woman, you could be forced to take a pregnancy test when applying for a job. In addition to creating a deficit, losing American jobs and destroying packs of small-time farmers, NAFTA legally allows the U.S. to take advantage of non-citizens in Mexico by putting them through grueling hours in horrendous conditions. U.S. gets cheap labor from Mexico, but has also affected the job market in the United States, especially in the government sector. More than 500,000 U.S. employees had to enter government retraining programs after their companies moved production south or north of the border. And I got this information from the Institute of Policy Studies. Other industries in which over 628,000 jobs were lost include motor vehicles, textiles, computers, and electrical appliances, some of the largest sectors today. Negative speaker Amy also said specifically that in regards to environmental dumping, NAFTA was beneficial to Mexico in the economic sense. Two opposing claims. In either case, they're both false. NAFTA was beneficial in the short run, but halted innovation entrepreneurship in the long run. Mexican farmers cannot handle the low prices set by the United States. The most specific advantage that NAFTA provides for the United States is that it allows government subsidized farm products into Mexico. This created artificially low prices, which local businesses and farmers could not compete with. This influx of subsidized U.S. food and goods, has destroyed the already small pact with Mexico's farmers. Even though the people of Mexico found the low-priced products helpful in the beginning, they're playing into the monopolistic hand of the United States by disabling their own businesses. Another premise of NAFTA was that illegal immigration would slow down because more people would be given jobs and strong economic conditions would be brought about in Mexico. This topic was never addressed by our opponent. Data have shown that NAFTA is ineffective in stemming the tide of illegal Mexican immigrants entering the U.S. to find jobs. In fact, according to most estimates, the number of Mexicans working illegally in the U.S. surged to 4.8 million in 2000, more than twice the 1990 total. This is right after NAFTA was put in place. Negative speaker Amy also said that steps were taken for the environmental cause, as in policies were implemented and politicians came together to try and put in rules that would stop the environment from getting worse. But none of these steps were followed. Here are the current facts. Rural farmers expanded into marginal land, resulting in deforestation at a rate of 630,000 hectares per year. There, open burning, open sewers, industrial runoff, and toxic dumping are the rule rather than the exception. Commonly with these environmental abuses is the reported use of outdated technologies by the Mexican electric power industry in order to contain costs. The US-Mexican border is now called the 2,000-mile Love Canal because of the horrendous environmental conditions in the Maquiladoras industrial zone along the border. As Mexico keeps developing, one can only imagine the depth and uncertainty of the already polluted country. Lastly, our opponent Amy said that there is no reversible option other than Nafta, that none of the countries can pull out without doing serious harm to their economy. A combination of agreements and help from the Foreign Investment Review of Agency will help the three countries, Canada, Mexico, and the US, maneuver out of the agreement safely, which will finally lead to the economic independence of each country for the most part. Overall, both countries have only worsened in conditions since the implementation of NAFTA. The disadvantages definitely outweigh the advantages. Thank you.